Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist. If you are new here, welcome. Welcome to the family. I am honored to have you here. If you're returning, welcome back. I have missed you. Today is part 2 of the Tower readings. The first part was what tower it was that fell. And this reading is all about why the tower fell. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I am struggling a lot bringing myself here. I felt deeply called that it was time for me to do this reading. But the reason why I am struggling is because I myself have gone through a tower moment in my life just last week. And because of the nature of my tower moment, I would like to ask anyone and everyone who watches this video to please consider going to the GoFundMe links that will be down in the description box and helping to support the families of one of my friends who I cared very deeply for, as they are trying to learn how to navigate a world without him in it anymore. It was 3 days after he was murdered and a day after I had found out that I went to my Chiron retrograde guidebook to read the channeled message on September 1st. And if you give me just a moment, I'm going to pull that out and read it for you. On September 1st, the Sun in Virgo exacted into a biquintile with Chiron, retrograded in Aries. In my Chiron retrograde guidebook of 2022, which you can find on Amazon, and the link is in the description box, as I was channeling the energy of that aspect, there was one line that came through automatically. And at the time, I didn't fully understand what that message was. I did my best to bring forth awareness. But the message was all the calculations and practical steps in the world will never stop the tower from falling. In my life right now, my heart hurts. And because of that, I understand even more so how hard these tower moments can be, whether it is the loss of a person in your life or a job or a pet or a belief system, a relationship with someone you thought was going to be there forever, or just a crumbling of who you once were. These are moments that can bring us to our knees and make us question. I found it is a rare occurrence when Spirit wants to give a why. where Spirit is open to helping to explain whys to us, because sometimes when we ask why, the answer is not what we want to hear, or the answer is for us to seek within ourselves. When it came through for me to do these two readings, I was hesitant, I was nervous, I was scared, but I also felt truly, truly blessed and utterly called. I'm not going to ask anyone to like my video, to share it. I'm not going to ask for any of that, because this video is meant to bring healing when it feels like there can't be any, to bring clarity when everything is clouded, and to help pick you up, help show you how to pick yourself up. This reading is for you, and this reading is for all those left behind. We have 4 piles. Each one is signified by a card that you'll see in front of you. There may be more than one pile which calls to you. There may be multiple layers to whatever tower moment has occurred. This is a timeless reading, so when it comes to you, it is meant to. And please know that in this moment and in this place on this channel, in these readings, this is a safe space for you. And this community is absolutely incredible. I'm going to leave you here. I'll give you a little bit of time to look over the piles, and I will see you at your reading. Hello, pile 1. If you chose the first card, the card Stannum and Tin with number 21, this is your reading on why the most recent tower in your life has fallen. So before we get into the oracle cards, I want to talk about the Tin card. This is from the it's the Unknown Alchemist Oracle. And in the book, it talks about the tin's cry and how tin is made up of a cubic crystalline structure. And so when it is spread out, it's very malleable. It can change shape very easily. If you think about tin foil and how it's easy to have it form to whatever you're wrapping it around, this is that same concept. But if you think about the sound that tin foil makes when you crumple it up, that's called the tin's cry. And that happens because even as expansive as it is, as much as it can do, as changeable and malleable as it is, when it gets impacted, the structure of it breaks. I don't know if any of you have ever done this with tinfoil. It might just be me. And, if I'm weird about it, I'll own that. But sometimes with tinfoil, you can crumple it up. And when you open it, it has all of the creases. And you can actually take, if you're careful, you can take some sort of straight edge, like a card, or I think I used to use pencils, and you can flatten it out. And it actually will make the tinfoil flat again, but it won't have quite the same look to it. And it won't be the same, I'm hearing the word tensile or strength as it was before. What this is telling me is that the most recent tower that fell in your life may have felt like a shattering of the structures and the foundations of who you are, the things that you believed that you could do, the ways in which you were trying to cover all sorts of different areas all the time, whether it be for yourself or for others. And you may not have even realized you were spreading yourself so thin that it only took one point of too much pressure for there to be a break. One of the other energies that came through really strongly was this long, drawn out need to cry. And it didn't feel like it was pride keeping the tears away. It was almost like you've been doing this and going and going and going for so long that you forgot what it was like to allow yourself the time and the energy to just sit down and allow the tears to fall from your eyes, allow them to just flow out of you. And when you do that, you trap so much emotion and energy within yourself that it becomes harder and harder to let the tears come out. And I have been there. I have gone through that, where it has made me question my empath abilities, because I was the person in the past who would cry at the simplest, smallest things. An animal video would make me cry, things like that. And somewhere along the way, I had spent so much time being strong for everyone else and for myself that I forgot what it was like and how relieving it was to allow myself to cry. The tin's cry comes from a structure breaking down this notion that I have to do it all for everyone, or everything's going to fall apart. And you didn't see that you were pushing boundaries, pushing limits within yourself. And Spirit really wants you to know that whatever tower it was, it didn't fall, it didn't break the essence of who you are. It broke the foundations of the things that you've been holding in and not allowing to come out of you. And I just saw 5:55 on the clock, which is definitely that signifier of deep, deep change. This is telling me so much that there is a time now for you to sit back, to look at all that you've done and all that you've held together, and to allow for yourself to cry, because when you cry, you actually are purging emotions. You're healing. This goes so much deeper on a healing level than you might think, just to let the tears fall from your eyes. It doesn't make you weak to break. And it doesn't mean that you aren't you. It means that the foundations that were built on, I can do it all, I can handle everything, I am strong enough to do this, I can take it on, I can take on the world no matter what. Of course you can, but you aren't meant to do this alone. You aren't meant to hold everything up for everyone. You're meant to do it for yourself and then lead by example so that others are able to witness you standing firm in what you know is right for you, shining that forth so that they can change for themselves because you have inspired them to do that. Spirit wants you to see the truest nature of your own reflection, the truest nature of your own soul. And it's like as soon as this crumbling happened, I'm looking at these rays, these rainbow rays, and you can perceive it one way or the other. Either they're coming in or they're going out. But really, to me, it's a little bit of both. You're starting to see colors. You're starting to see the essence of all that you have within you. And the more that you allow that to come through, the more that you allow this purge to happen, and you accept that it doesn't mean that you were ever wrong or that you were doing something wrong, you're not being punished at all. It means that it was time for you to see the truth of who you are, because the world has been standing waiting to reflect it back to you, and now it can, because now you have allowed for yourself to change form, change shape, grow into something more, something beautiful that you have always had within you. And you just weren't able to see it in that moment. These cards here are the past energies that impacted the tower falling. And these are the future energies and advice from Spirit moving forward. So we'll start with the Rose Oracle, and we have the fertile void, inner winter, rest, patience, potency, and secret beginnings. And we have the card 34 with ancient wisdom. I am seeing this with the fertile void. I'm seeing this feeling within you that for a long time you felt like you were trying to bring you. It's like you were trying to get flowers to bloom in utter darkness. And you were so determined to do it. An inner winter phase is one of the hardest to move through. It is one of the most difficult to move through, because when you're in that phase, all that you can really do is look into yourself. All you can really do is surrender and allow this moment to happen, allow this revelation to happen. And this comes down to past lives and past experiences and ancestral healing and generational patterns. And it feels so much like you've been in this void space for so long, but I see the secret beginnings, and it's kind of like Spirit saying, you didn't see what was planted. By all that you have done, you didn't see what was planted, what was nurtured. But it will be seen. Just like this reflection. The world will reflect back to you all that you have done, all that you have worked on, the things that you have allowed yourself to awaken within you that have been difficult and scary and against what you thought or against what your family thought. And it's like I'm watching someone in my third eye running a marathon, and the marathon is over, but they just keep running. It's like Forrest Gump. He just started running one day and then just kept running. But remember that at the end, Forrest Gump decided he was done running. He had all these people following him because he was this leader just by running. And then suddenly he was like, I'm done running now. All the people behind him, they just weren't sure what to do anymore. And I think that's a message for you for why it was necessary for the tower to fall, because it was time for you to stop running. No matter who was following you, no matter who you felt like you had to lead forward, it was time for you to stop running. It was time for you to rest, to rebuild. And it took this awakening within you that now is the time, because you couldn't keep going. And that's okay. It's genuinely okay. It doesn't make you weak. It means that you have such a beautifully dedicated heart, a very determined soul. And you know within your entire being that you've done so many of these things before that you could do it again. But you did it in a different body, in a different time, and in a different place. And now it's time to allow yourself to carry this wisdom within and to live in the world in which you're living. So while you have been struggling and fighting and trying to make something blossom and grow, thinking that you just have a brown thumb essentially for creativity or for your gifts or your talents or your dreams, it's not the truth. Things needed to awaken, but you needed to allow yourself to slow down and to stop trying to carry the weight for everyone. No matter how that message from September 1st, no matter how much planning and practical steps you take, you can't avoid tower moments when they're meant to come in. You can embrace them, you can initiate them when you can see it, that it's time, but you can't avoid them because they're there for your growth. They're there for you to understand more of what you are and what you can do and what you're meant for. And Jupiter is associated with tin. Jupiter is the planet of blessings. For your blessings to come through, the old had to be restructured. So let's get your messages and advice moving forward. We have plant yourself here, integration, embodiment, and grounded action. That's just like what I was just saying about having all this ancient wisdom, this ancient energy, and learning how to take it and put it into the physical world as it is right now, right here. It's knowing that you can hold both extremes. You can hold the present moment and the wisdom of the past, and you can plant both of them together in the ground where you're at. You can ground yourself right here and right now with all the lessons and the knowledge that you've had, knowing when enough is enough, knowing when you have been holding on too long for everyone else, and when it's time for you to rest, when it's time for you to take a break, and trusting in everything that you've been doing, because Spirit has your back. The universe has your back. There's this secret beginnings right here. You didn't see it, but you weren't meant to see it. You were doing it all. You were doing the most. You were doing the lion's share of the work. And you are being so commended for that. And the tower came in and it made you rest. I am picking up for some of you, this may have been a physical health situation. And I want you to understand that I've been in those situations more times than I can count when I push myself too hard. In fact, I was in one recently, about 3 weeks ago. It's a reminder, our bodies will always remind us to slow down. But now you know, now you have this wisdom. You have even more wisdom than what you had when you were running that race, when you were holding everything up for everyone else, taking care of everything and everyone. Now you know your worth and your value, and you know that you deserve rest, that you deserve help, that you can ask for help and it will be given. And you are open to receiving it in a way that you may have not been before. But something within you, when this tower fell, awoke that ancient wisdom and helped you to see and hear and know that now is the time to take time, to take care of yourself, to heal yourself, and to trust. And now, moving forward, you will know and you will have it integrated into who you are, that this is the action to take, that this is the path and the way forward, and that I can embody this leadership position. I can lead by example for others without carrying the weight of what they need to do for themselves. The last card we have, thank you, Spirit, is the card 19 with unlimited possibilities. And there are trees here. You guys may want to look into Celtic Ogham. That's tree divination. You may want to look into properties and meanings of trees. You may just want to get out in nature and touch a tree, sit at the trunk of a tree and lean against it and really get connected to the trees that are ancient, but still thriving in the modern world. And I just saw 1919 on my clock when we're talking about the card 19. And you know, the card 19 actually represents the sun in tarot. And that is the ultimate joy and the ultimate fulfillment. But if you look from what happened before the tower fell to what happened afterwards, we have barren trees and we have this dark void space where there's very little growth. Growth is just barely there. And over here, now that it's fallen, look how amazing this is. You are literally blossoming from your inside out. You are seeing all of the unlimited possibilities for yourself in the world, and you're taking advantage of whatever you feel called to. And that is true magic. That is true magic. And that is what I'm seeing here, is that you needed to rest. Things needed to break down because the structure needed to change, but not the essence. Okay. So let's get a few messages from the tarot. I'm working with the Shadowscapes Tarot. I absolutely love this deck because it's so whimsical and imaginative. And it really helps you to see that no matter what situation you're going through, no matter how difficult, how challenging, and how painful it may be, there's always silver linings. There's always light, and there are always creative ways of expressing yourself and moving through it to heal. Everybody says that healing isn't linear, and I 100% agree, but healing isn't just about shadow work. It's not just about Reiki or studying or meditation. Healing can come in so many different ways. You can sit down and watch a movie and suddenly something happens within the movie, or there's a character who has a specific line, and it's like some part of your soul just feels seen and heard. And it may be a fictional character, and it may be a movie, and it may not be somebody actually looking at you, but you know within your heart and your soul that someone somewhere understood or understands exactly how you're feeling enough to put it into a script, and Spirit made it possible for everything to fall together for you to come across that movie. That is a truly magical moment. And sometimes we can lose sight of that, especially when we feel stripped bare and as though the only thing that we have is the past. All right. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Again, with so much with the trees. Spirit, do we have anything else for pile 1? Okay. The 9 of Swords. Yeah, absolutely. Let me get one more, Spirit, for pile 1. Okay, we have 2 more. We have the 2 of Swords and the 5 of Pentacles. All right. And on the back of the deck, we have the Page of Swords. Okay. So what I'm seeing here is, you know, the Queen of Pentacles is such a nurturing energy. She's this nurturing, motherly energy, and she's very grounded into the here and now. And with that, she tries to handle everything because she knows she can. And that's what I'm getting from this Queen of Pentacles, is that you knew that you could handle it all. And so you stepped into this energy trying to handle the finances and the nurturing and the housework and this and that. But the Queen of Pentacles is not the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is the one that does all the action. And he knows that the benefits will come in because he knows he's got the Queen by his side. But the Queen of Pentacles is the one that knows how to receive. And it's almost as if there was this sort of twisted masculine and feminine energy within you where you thought that you were in the feminine energy because you were creating and you were doing this and doing that. And all of it with the intent of taking care of this and taking care of that and being there for this person and being there for that person. And all it did was really wind you up and around in this state of feeling lack and blinded and disillusioned and beaten down, bloody and tormented mentally and emotionally, and even possibly having a true lack of resources in the physical realm. But this Page of Swords is really calling to me to let you know that as you allow yourself to rest, if you look, I've never noticed this, but if you look really closely, she's actually holding a baby swan, and she has her sword up. The swan isn't threatened at all, but she's nurturing it. It's like you've learned how to nurture your inner child, how to give it the love and nurturing, how to give yourself the love and nurturing that you need. And with her black dress, I'm seeing Spirit like cloaking you in this protection so that you could remember your essence, so you could find that inspiration again. And that is the truest purpose of the tower falling in your life, was so that you would reawaken to your mental inspiration instead of mental torment, to allow yourself to see the world as what it could be, what it used to be, what you know in your heart of hearts is there for it to be. And you know that you can bring a little piece of that in, but you don't have to bring the whole in. And so now you can let go and relax and allow for things to blossom around you in full trust, because you are accepting the fact that you don't need to try and control everything and take care of everyone, because you're not on their soul journey. You're a part of it, but you're not doing it for them. And so you aren't meant to carry the burdens for them. I'm hearing this doesn't mean that you're meant to leave people. And if you are meant to leave people behind, if you are meant to walk a path and that path takes you away from some of the connections that you had, it doesn't mean that you're bad or wrong, or they were bad or wrong. It just means that it served the time it was meant to in your life, and now it's time for you both to blossom and grow separately from each other. Your inner child is healing, and a lot of it has to do with abandonment wounds, but you've never been alone. And you're starting to understand that and realize it. And the more that you give yourself the rest and embody the truth of your own magnificence and your own light, your own healing, your own unlimited possibilities, the more that you won't mind whether or not you can see what next step to take, because you're already taking the right step now. And you will just allow yourself to love and nurture anything and everything that you create. And I'm seeing so much creation. It's like you're suddenly breathing life into everything, everywhere. And it's a beautiful thing. Pile 1, this is all I'm getting for your message. I want to say thank you so much to Spirit for bringing forth these messages today. Thank you to your guides and my guides for connecting your energy to mine, for helping me to understand the energy and to helping me bring these messages that are so needed to the collective of Pile 1. As I mentioned in my intro, in case you missed it, I'm not asking for you guys to support my channel like my videos today. What I am asking for you to do is, if this resonated, even if it didn't, please take some time and consider donating to the GoFundMes that are linked in the description box below. They are meant to help raise funds for the family of a dear friend of mine who was murdered last week. Thank you again so much for being here. I hope that this helped you understand, and I hope that it helped you see all of your potential so that you may move forward in a state of peace and nurturing. Pile 1, thank you again. I love you all. Bye. Hello, Pile 2. If you chose the second card, the Ether card or the Void, which is also number 42, which reduces down to a 6, this is your message. As I'm tapping into your energy, I have to tell you guys, I feel this inner fire. Like, it's like confidence to the extreme. And first of all, it's absolutely welcome on my channel, you guys. Wow. But also, I want you to know that the first thing I'm hearing is you're not being prideful, you're not being boastful, you are being true to the energy that you are meant to hold. That is such strong, confident, fiery energy. I am it's like a blend of all the fires. You may have a grand fire trine in your natal chart. That would be where 3 planets are in each of the fire signs and forms a triangle within the chart itself. I am picking up a lot of that. And that is energy that can be difficult to fully tap into and utilize because it's so natural to you that you don't realize it's there. But something within you figured it out. I don't know necessarily what it is because it feels like it's going to be different for everyone. But this ether card, or the void space, to me, it feels literally like space. It feels like you launched yourself into the blackest parts of space, knowing that that was where you were meant to be. So the tower moment that fell in your life was one that it's like you initiated it. I'm seeing like a where there's a kid who you'll build up like a bunch of blocks and you've got this big tower, and then you look at it and you're like, nope, not gonna work. So you walk over and you just kind of kick it down and you walk away and you're like, okay, that was fun. What's next? That's the energy that I'm getting from you guys. So Spirit wants you to know that whatever tower it was that fell, you tumbled it. And I have the sense that you guys already know that you're like, awesome. Thank you for the confirmation. So if you are in this pile and you're feeling as though I didn't do this, this happened and I don't know why, please believe me when I say this is not your pile. And I encourage you to go back and look at the other piles and ask your guides to lead you to the pile that is meant for you, because this is so direct and focused energy. And that is like huge Sagittarius energy of like, I don't care if I have to change, but when I do make a change, I am going to know the change I'm making, and I am going to know where I'm going, and I am going to take aim. And I know without a doubt, my arrow will hit the mark. That's the energy that is within this pile. If you feel as though you have just, I'm hearing burnt it all down. If you're feeling as though you just burnt it all down and you're wondering whether it was the right thing, then yes, you're in the right pile. And yes, it was. And please trust yourself. Trust is key in this process for you, pile 2, because what you're doing is you're manifesting something new. You're manifesting something that has been calling to you for a very long time, and you're bringing it in. And when you do that, you have to enter the void space. But I feel like this is the first time I've ever touched the void card where it hasn't felt deeply uncomfortable. It's kind of like, well, what I was shown was a meditation that I do before I go to bed. Give me just one moment. I've got my cat outside. I'm going to let her in. Otherwise, she's just going to kick up a storm. Okay, so before I continue, I do have to let you guys know that I do have Willow in here, and I just let Winifred in here, and Winifred and Willow. Well, Willow loves Winifred, but it's not reciprocated quite yet. So if you hear Willow whining, it's just because the cat is sitting up on a bench higher than what she can reach because she's a little puppy. Anyway, what I was saying was there are nights where I need to clear my mind completely. And instead of doing a guided meditation, or instead of doing any kind of real meditation, I close my eyes and I will it to be dark. And then I picture myself floating in space. No stars, no planets, just space. And to me, it's like resting in the void. Every night I go through phases where every night I want to go and rest in the void, because in that place, it's quiet and it's peaceful. And the void space is the place of all new creation. It is the place where creation was birthed to begin with. It is the place where we go when we want to move with a blank canvas for whatever it is that we're doing in our life. With this being a 42 reducing to 6, this is, to me, it's about you, whatever tower it was that you kicked over. It was like you realized there was this imbalance and you were like, I can't do that. I have to be able to nurture myself and love myself along this path. And this way of doing things isn't doing it for me. And so you just willingly kicked it over, but it wasn't in a destructive way. And that is such a beautiful thing. It's seen so rarely, people who understand this process. So the other thing that came through really strongly for your pile is manifestation. Manifestation. Oh, there's Willow. See? So when you're manifesting, you set your intentions, you take the initiative to show the universe, hey, I'm in this. Let's do this. You know that it's meant for you. You know it's right for you. So you enter into the void space. As your manifestation comes into being and comes into the physical world, you go into the void space. The void space, everybody has their own opinions and their own beliefs about the void space. But to me, the void space is like going into the Akashic records and painting a new image, writing a new story. It's going in and allowing your creativity to flow with zero purpose aside from just being creative. And for me, I got to tell you guys, that's like the dream. Just to sit back and create without any pressure or expectation. That is absolutely what I love doing. So you guys are touching a type of creativity within you that is just so profound. And it is the time for you to get into that. No more outside world, no more this, no more that. It's like you just know this is what I'm meant to do. And that is really amazing. I'm going to step away one more time. I will be right back. All right. I apologize for the chaos with pets. That's just kind of how life goes. However, let's get back to your reading. Okay, so these two cards on this side are what led up to the tower falling, or in your case, being initiated in being pushed over. And these are the advice from Spirit for moving forward. So we're going to start with the Rose Oracle. We have the Holy Grail. Stop the endless searching, inner quest. All right, one more. And then we have 23 with forgiveness. This is incredible. So what I'm seeing with these is you knew that it's like you got to this point where you were like, I can keep doing everything that I've been doing, but it's not serving anything. It's not serving the world. It's not serving me. It's just me going out and doing this and doing that. It's like trying on different, I just heard trying on different skins. I think that's a gaming reference. Are you guys gamers? I have to admit I don't game, but that's what just came through. It's like trying on different skins. And you realized at some point that there wasn't any point in continuing to do that, because the only thing that really fit was who you are truly. So you toppled the tower. And it was, okay, I have to throw my 2 cents in here. So Spirit, please bear with me with the messages, but please teach people how to do this. If you aren't already, this is an amazing gift. This is an amazing skill. Not everybody is able to see themselves, see what they're doing, see that it isn't right, and go within and find forgiveness for themselves and others the way that you have. This is incredible. Please teach people how to do this. This world needs more people that understand this. The world needs more people like you. And I truly feel like this is something that you're here to do. On the other note, I am seeing with this rose here blossoming, it's like you're grounding yourself into your root, finally. Sometimes when we build, we can build from our hearts. We can build from our third eye and our visions. But we're meant to build from the safety and security of who we are, grounded into the reality. So we're meant to build from the root all the way up. If you think about a tree that has grown up instead of down first is going to be unstable. A strong gust of wind and it's going to knock it. It's going to get knocked down. But if you really get those roots down and in, you really get yourself firm and strong. And from there, you build. And anything and everything that you build from there it's impenetrable, it's unshakable, immovable. You may have been seeing a lot of wild animals. I do see the deer and the hawk on this card, but I'm also seeing what looks like an eye here. I think that it actually reminds me of Excalibur on her chest. It kind of looks like Excalibur, but at the same time, it almost looks like an eye. It's almost like your higher heart chakra just popped open one day and was like, okay, here's how we have to do this. And instead of trapping yourself and beating yourself up for all that came before that just wasn't working and wasn't going to work, you said, okay, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to tumble this. I'm going to move forward. But before I move forward, I'm going to move in. And that's amazing, because what I'm seeing here is that you're learning right now that you hold the Holy Grail. You hold the answers. You hold the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding within yourself of your emotions, your ego, your personality, how you're meant to shine in the world, your absolute essence, your soul. And you know how to blend them all together into one. And it's like you've looked into your past. You've looked at everything. And you have learned the true art of forgiveness. And that is a rare thing in this world. It is truly, truly rare in this world. And now your root is so much stronger. And it's like you're beaming from the ground up instead of, when you think about you shining your light out, a lot of visualizations and imagery of that is from the heart out. But this is literally your root. Your root is feeding everything. And it's because you have learned how to trust yourself and know yourself and forgive yourself. Forgiving others is the easy part for a lot of us. We can forgive others and move forward in our lives, but we can have a hard time forgiving ourselves, and you have perfected it. Wow. Okay, let's see what Spirit's advice is for you moving forward. We have the sacred waters: nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, and self-care. Yeah, that's literally like you in the void space. And then we have 44 and home. Well, okay. Home is like your root. It's you have literally put yourself back into your natural state. You have ground yourself into your root chakra. So you have found home within your body. And now the only thing Spirit wants you to do is feed yourself, love yourself, take care of yourself. As you do this, your energy is going to be replenished and because you're in this void space, the more that you care and love yourself, the more that you nurture yourself, take salt baths, or even just like a bubble bath with some candles lit. Take a book in there, or a notebook or a journal in there, and just sink into the water and feel how at home you are within that, how at home you are within your emotions. Again, I'm seeing the sun and the moon here are separated, but here they're actually connected. So you're learning how to blend all of these together. And it's going to take you to places you have never imagined. But it's almost as if you don't, it's like Spirit is saying, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Right now is not a time to rush it. Right now is a time for you to be. I'm just so amazed. All Spirit really wants you to know is you've done it. You did it. It was the right thing to do. And now you just need to take care of yourself, because what you are manifesting at this point is coming to you. So the more time that you take to nourish yourself, to pay attention to your body, to listen to it, to feel how sensual and purposeful you are within your body, within your own skin, the more that you're going to understand that you are a creative, not just person, but soul. Your essence is creativity. So in the space that you're at, the best thing that you can do to inspire yourself and to really work with the void energy instead of the possibility of it becoming uncomfortable, which I don't sense is going to happen, but just in case, I'm hearing, just in case, it's kind of like there might still be a little bit of mental hesitancy, mental trapping here. I don't think it's something that is going to trap you forever, because I have the feeling that you're just very well aware of yourself. This inner quest it's something that I have done myself on multiple occasions. And when you do it, the first few times, it's really scary. It's really hard to do. But after that, then it's like, okay, I know that I'm going to do so much more when I am done. So let me just dive into it. Let me fill myself up by spending time with myself, by nourishing myself. Just drinking more water is going to help. So we have the 5 of Pentacles here. The Ace of Pentacles. I am loving it. Yeah, this is about something that you're creating in the actual physical world. Because you're finally tapping into how much the physical of yourself matters to your soul. It's the concept of the body as a temple. You understand what that means, and you also understand that self-care isn't always just like, I'm going to take a bath and then I'm going to feel better. Self-care is like, I'm going to sit down with myself and I'm going to do something for me. I'm going to go for a walk because I feel like it, because I feel called to it. I am going to take a nap in the middle of the day because I know that's what I need. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to feel guilty, because this is what I need. This is what I'm called to. The more that you do that, the easier it becomes to really take care of yourself, to consume the right foods and consume enough water and do all of these things. And trust me when I say I know how hard these things can be. I am somebody who has, on and off throughout her life, really struggled with self-care. I have struggled with the basic necessities of taking care of myself. I have been through such huge medical issues and deep, dark depressions in my life. And I have been stuck in victim mentality in the past. And then I have overcome it. And I had to teach myself every step of the way And I do truly understand a lot about this because I have had to forgive myself for the things that I didn't know how to do because no one ever taught me. If this part resonates with you at all, know that you are not alone. Know that you don't need to be beating yourself up for not remembering to brush your hair, or for wearing pajamas 3 days in a row, for not being able to convince yourself to get in the shower today. It will come when it comes, and it will flow naturally. The further that you get into this inner quest, the more that you forgive yourself, the more these things will come naturally. That's for a few of you that I can feel needed to hear that. You're not the only one who has experienced this. Even if you feel like you're the only one in your life, please know that you're not, because I know what you feel like. I know what that's like, and I've been there. I know how hard it is to feel at home in your body. I know how hard it is to feel at home in your home. I know how hard it is to feel at home in your mind. I know. I've been there. For some of you, this Five of Pentacles goes so much deeper than the physical world. This goes to your root. And that is how the tower needed to fall, because your root didn't think that you would ever find your way out of it. And something inside of you awoke. Just like I said, that higher heart chakra just woke up, and suddenly it was like, I should be loving myself more. And you listened, and I am proud of you, and Spirit is proud of you. Very much so. You were not bullying yourself into doing something that you weren't really sure about. You were following your intuition, your heart, and your soul. And when you did that, you planted this seed of newness. This manifestation that you are doing, it is going to bring abundance in every way, shape, and form, because this inner quest that you did, you learned that the holy grail of any inner quest is to strengthen, fortify, purify that root chakra. And it is so, so inspirational and admirable what you're doing and what you have done. So thank you very much. Then we have the Three of Cups. I love how beautiful this is, because it's like this little mermaid is coming up with these cups for these two up above, and they're pouring them back and forth, but now they're starting to pour it into this smaller mermaid's cup, because they know. And that is what I'm hearing Spirit say, you're going to be doing that. And then we have the Knight of Swords. It's like, okay. This Three of Cups, you're going to know how to pour into others while keeping your cup full. This is that teaching energy. You're going to teach others. And there may come a time on this teaching journey in which you partner up with someone or with multiple people, but where the Three of Cups can usually be celebration. And that was an energy that I felt. Yes, please do celebrate. Please celebrate every part of you. But what I'm getting from this Three of Cups is more of a partnership and teaching the younger generations, or teaching younger souls spiritually. So newly awakened souls. It's like you're going to start seeing as you move through this replenishment and this home space in your body, you're going to start seeing different areas out in the world that are in need of something that you have. Let those just become aware to you, and allow for the creative ideas to blossom within the void space. As they do that, you're going to understand more about what your heart and soul are calling you to do and how you can do that. Because what this Three of Cups is saying is that even if it's just blending your energies together to teach others how to do that, which I say even if, but that in and of itself is miraculous. Please know that. You're also taking this and you're going to find this wellspring, I'm hearing wellspring of inspiration and emotional inspiration. It's going to come from everywhere, every angle, every possible place, and it's going to just pour forth from you. Let it pour forth. The Knight of Swords is like you have the utmost mental clarity and you can actually see any mental traps moving forward. And none of them will ever trap you again. You guys are dominating the essence of the Eight of Swords card. You guys are dominating that card. You're taking it and you're saying no more of this. Oh my gosh, I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to say it. Look, you guys, on the back of the deck, we have the Lovers card. We have the Lovers card. 42 reduces to a 6. 6, the Lovers card. And I'm going to do bad numerology, but it fits. 2 times 3 is 6. So you know what? 5 plus 1 is 6. Granted, we can do this all day, and I can find ways to do 6. It's kind of like the number 23. It's just everywhere. But with this Lovers card, some of you are manifesting a partner. Whether that is a partner in business, a partner in life, a partner in love, anything. Remember when I said this Three of Cups felt like 2 people teaching younger generations? That is also the essence of the Lovers. But I also said it was a blending of energies. The Lovers is represented by Gemini. Gemini is the twins. The twins are represented by Pollux and Castor or Romulus and Remus, depending on whether you're going with Greek or Roman mythology. Either way, the stories are the same. One of them is divine and the other one is human, but they're twins, identical, but different. But both of them are admired. Both of them are immortalized. They are 2 sides of what we all contain within. When you look at the Lovers card, you think of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and both of those are energies we contain within. And when you learn to bring those into harmony, moving from that state, it is transcendent. The other thing about the number 6 is it represents unconditional love, which is also what I was picking up with your pile. So essentially, pile 2, thank you. Your energy really helped boost mine, first of all. So I really, really appreciate that. I thank you for being here. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Don't quit because you're awesome. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing this energy in and these messages in. Thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection between our energies for these messages to be brought out into the collective. In case you missed my intro, I'm going to reiterate, I'm not asking you guys to do any kind of support for my channel with this video. If this resonated, even if it didn't, and it just made you feel hopeful, or just if you stuck around this long at this point, there are going to be 2 links in the description box at the top for GoFundMes. And they are donations for the family of a close friend of mine who was murdered last week. And his family could really, really use as much help and hope in humanity and in the world as possible. And I would like to give them as much of that as possible. So if you are feeling as though you are called to it, please consider donating. And I want to say thank you again one more time. I will see you guys all at my next reading. I love you, pile 2. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the third card, it's the card 54 with Azure Vault and the Blue Temple. The first thing that I picked up with this are these little bubbles. There are 6 of them with 3 bubbles in them. And it's like, it's really hard to explain quite what it feels like, but it's like a leader of the pack, and you're finding the pack. But I also was picking up that 369 or 639 or 936, those are also solfeggio healing frequencies. Those might be very helpful right now for you. Some of you may be drawn to Nikola Tesla, energy. I just heard electricity, healing. But the other thing about this was when I was tapping into this card the very first time, I kept getting this intense otherworldly feel. I don't know a lot about starseeds. I've done minimal research here and there. It's actually on a to research list and to connect to list for me because I have felt very called to it as of late. But that is the energy that I am picking up with you guys. So the Azure Vault or the Blue Temple talks about this blue place, this sapphire robe, and imagination. It's almost ineffable or unable to be properly defined, described. It's as though we could say as many things as we want to say, but the human language or the pantheon of words that we have in the world are not sufficient to describe this place, this state of being, this understanding, this awareness, this awakening thing or part of you. And to me, that is so very, very starseed energy. With that, and I'm going to give a caveat here. I am out of my depth because I haven't experienced this. So I definitely recommend, if this resonated, check out Lexi the Leo's channel because she does talk about how she went through one of these. What I was picking up was starseed awakening, which means that you may be connecting with starseeds, with a mission having to do with starseed origins or starseed ancestry. And when that happens, what I'm being shown is it's like being blasted into a completely different realm while you're still living your day-to-day life. It's almost as though you're looking at every human in the world and they all feel like aliens to you, and you are like, this is so difficult to explain. Spirit, can I get a little bit of help here? Okay, so imagine that you're a crayon and you're used to a box of crayons that covers all these different colors of the rainbow. It's got every shade of every color imaginable. And that's what is natural to you. This multifaceted, multicolored everything. And one day you wake up and you're this ever-changing iridescent crayon in a box full of brown crayons. It's not quite like you're in a state of like panic or paranoia or freaking out, like what's going on. It's just kind of like you're wondering how this happened, what happened, like just kind of looking at the world as though you're seeing it with new eyes in a completely different way. And that I can understand. Thank you, Spirit. That I can understand, because I will go through moments where I will walk outside and it is like all of a sudden I went from looking at things on a black and white television to a 4K TV. But it's in the physical world. It's like everything is brighter, crisper, clearer in the physical world. For you, it's like that. Everything is very clear, but it feels almost as though instead of you feeling like an alien in a strange place, you almost feel like you're surrounded by strange aliens in a familiar place. I'm really hoping that this makes sense to you, because this is, like I said, it's so otherworldly that it's hard to fully explain. And so it can be very, it can make you feel kind of off kilter. Like I'm seeing a boat that's just rocking back and forth in the waves. And every time you get your footing, it rocks the other direction. And you know that you just have to go with it, but you're not entirely sure what changed. There was a tower that fell. It's like there was a block somewhere in your mind that had you kind of not quite knowing what to do or where to go or why you were feeling certain things, why certain things just kind of stopped making sense. It's not necessarily that it stopped resonating or you stopped enjoying certain things. It's like for me, I'll come across a word and all of a sudden it'll be a word I know, a word I've used, but it won't make sense to me anymore. So I'll have to go and look it up, and then the definition doesn't make sense. So I have to go to the origin of the word. When I hit the origin of the word, as far back as I can go, then it starts making more sense to me. This is something that can happen with really ancient souls. It can also happen with starseeds, where all of a sudden, all the structuring of your life, you know that it's there, it's accessible to you. You know the way it's meant to be used, whether it's words or colors or just anything. It kind of feels like it is very scattered for what it is. But you know what the normal, quote unquote, normal, like, I don't need to get on that soapbox. You know what the normal use of something is or purpose of something is, but suddenly you're like, that isn't quite right. And because of that first initial questioning, something kind of crumbled within. It's not quite your shadow, but it's like a barricade between you and a portion of your soul fell. And when that barricade fell, then all of this information kind of flooded in. I guess it would be kind of like a download, but it came through. Oh, okay. It came through like as you were sleeping, as you were dreaming, perhaps. If you've been having really vivid dreams, then your dreams are not what they seem, but there are messages within them. But what I'm getting here is when that barricade fell, that barricade was the tower. And now you're seeing things kind of topsy-turvy because you're meant to see them that way. You were always meant to see them that way. That is something that is very unique to you and to a group of souls here on the earth, because that perspective is essential for bringing the iridescence of what you see into a world that has seemed too drab. I hope that makes sense. So we're going to take a look at the oracle cards. On this side, we have the cards that represent kind of the earlier state of energy or the energy when the tower fell. And this is advice from Spirit moving forward. So we have the Rose of Venus, alignment, flow, right relationship, and harmony. Interesting. And we have 24 in Ascension. Okay, so with alignment and Ascension, what I'm seeing here is that it's something harmonized within you. That question that you had, whatever question it was sourced in a prior doubt. And when that question arose, it kind of not just tumbled that, but it unfurled so much. So I'm seeing all these spirals. But what I'm actually seeing is like a ball of yarn, like an actual ball, not a skein, because the skein is long. And if you roll it, it doesn't unroll, but a ball of yarn itself, when you roll it on the ground, it will leave a long yarn as it unravels itself, essentially. There's something within you that has become unraveled, and it's because you have found this state of understanding that the past is the past, but something that what you couldn't make sense of was being projected onto your relationship. Now that you understand that it was a projection, you shifted yourself into a higher state of being, a higher state of awareness. That put you in direct alignment with your starseed family. And when that happened, you actually, it's like your subconscious and unconscious aligned, opened up like a flower, and a passageway was created in order for your energy to welcome in harmonious energy. So if you're in a relationship right now, this relationship is ascending. This relationship is harmonious. Everything that is meant to be within the relationship you're in. And I have to tell you guys, this is the second pile where it has come through with such specificity that if you're not in a relationship right now, this is not the reading for you. I can't even, it's like, that's the halting point of it. Like this is a message for those in a relationship where suddenly everything has changed, but your relationship is like solid and steady. When you come into the right relationship, a lot opens up within you. And I know this because I have experienced it myself. you've aligned to a different, I just heard a different dimensional purpose. Within this dimensional purpose, all of the past times, all of the struggles of the past relationship struggles, that's all being elevated to a new level. And that elevation is really, really bringing in so much for you. Whatever struggle that you have been in, and I'm hearing imaginative. This doesn't mean that the struggle has been imaginative. What I'm actually picking up is it's like a struggle with your imagination. Thank you, Spirit. The struggle that you've had with your imagination, some of you may be creators, artists, musicians, authors, children's authors, anything that you see as a creative field where you need to utilize your imagination and you haven't been able to touch your imagination lately. It's because when you got into this relationship, there was a lot that needed to crumble and fall, a lot of karmic things that needed to crumble and fall. And it took a lot of strength to keep going in a state of trust because your head and your heart just didn't want to listen. But you've gone through this ascension. And when you go through an ascension, a tower always falls. It will always fall. But the tower that fell for you feels more like a welcome relief because you don't feel like you're a stranger to the world, but there are certain people that now feel like strangers to you. And that's because you are aligning to the people that are going to be coming in that are meant for you finally. If you have been having this struggle, this is going to come in. And the more that you open yourself up to this energy, the more your imagination is going to take off. And if you need help with that, I'm hearing close your eyes, count to 10, and let the blue in. Let the blue in. It's kind of like Spirit's saying, if you trust enough, if you trust, when you trust, close your eyes, count to 10, and let the blue in. What's going to happen is, without trying, blue is going, I'm actually seeing in my third eye, like blue dots starting to pop everywhere and kind of blossom almost like flowers, but it's just like, it's almost like drops of paint that spread out and then they keep doing that. And that's an energy that you have access to now. And that energy is actually like the essence of imagination. So cool. It's like staring at the sky and seeing the cloud formations, and suddenly the clouds form what you're thinking instead of you trying to make the cloud formations fit into something. The clouds are responding to you. So that's kind of what this is within your mind. And that's what Spirit wants you to really do, is allow that to happen, because it's going to help you feel less like you're struggling to create or to imagine things. And the more that you can imagine things, the easier this transition period from the crumbling to the next phase will be. Okay, let's get your guys' advice. I want to see what your advice is. All right. Oh, we have plant yourself here, integration, embodiment, and grounded action. Yeah. This again goes towards the feeling as though you're surrounded by strangers, but you are familiar with where you're at. This is helping you become more attuned to your surroundings and less concerned about people right now, because right now it's about connecting and grounding yourself into the here and now, because it's really, really needed for you and your relationship to really let those roots grow with this ascension process. And then we have the card 40 with retreat. So I just heard fall back. Okay, November 6th may be significant for some of you. It may be your birthday, or you may have some sort of retreat planned to go on the 6th of November. But what I'm getting with this retreat is when I heard fall back, I actually thought about the clocks going backwards. And so it's kind of like when you get yourself really, really rooted and grounded into your imagination, you're going to be able to soar into a lot of different time frames in order to pick up different creative techniques and bring them forward into what you're doing in a way that nobody else does. That means that you're going to be able to like pick and choose different modalities, blend them together, and create a new modality in this world. That makes sense because you're the iridescent crayon to the brown crayons. So the brown crayons are using all of the tried and true modalities. You, on the other hand, are iridescent. That means that you're tapping into an energy, and you may even be tapping into an unknown starseed energy. Like maybe you're meant to, if this resonates, take some time with it, sit with it. But some of you may feel as though you know you're from the stars, you know you're a starseed, you know you have a starseed mission. And some of you may have actually looked into all of the starseeds and done a bunch of research, connected with different beings. And while you resonate with them, they're not the ones you're looking for. And it has you feeling like you have to search. You're learning here right now that you're from a starseed system that hasn't been identified within the collective consciousness yet, because it's meant for you to identify in whatever way that you do it, whether it's through artistry, whether you channel light codes, whatever it is. That's something that your soul is here to do. You're here to actually embody a different starseed race, a different starseed race. That makes sense for the retreat. So some of you may feel called to like sacred places. If you have the opportunity and the resources to do so, please do. If not, do Google searches, do some research into it, look at images of the places, because there's something within you that can actually connect psychically to the places without having to go there. And you can still tap and touch the energies, pull the energies to you instead of having to go to the energies. You pull them to you and you actually plant those energies in a new place. This is wow. Okay. Again, like I said, this energy, it's just so different. It's really, really amazing to me. I have to tell you guys, this is really amazing. I am so curious to know. About this energy, but this is really cool. Have you guys been seeing changing colors, changing lights, or almost as if your eyes are glitching, where colors will flash and then go back to what they were? It's as though you're seeing different layers of colors suddenly. That's really cool. So we have the Queen of Wands. Oh, you guys are awakening to some power. Yeah. And again, there's this harp. She's playing a harp. And what I'm getting from that really strongly is those solfeggio frequencies. There's something with them that's going to help you, help your energy harmonize a little bit more. Yeah, you guys are definitely starting to step into some sort of new energy. Queen of Wands is associated with fire energy, but I'm actually picking up a lot of water energy with it. There's something so different about this pile. It's like your fire energy is watery, your water energy is kind of fiery and airy. And so with that, it's like you just pour forth different perspectives, different viewpoints, different everything in such a beautiful way that it colors the world like a paintbrush, just from how you see things. That's incredible. So then we have the Six of Pentacles. Again, see the pouring out. This is the Six of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles never gives me water energy, but again, this is giving me water energy. And then we've got the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, the Eight of Pentacles really talks about perfecting something. A spider will spin such a beautiful web. They spend so much time working on their web, and they are just masterpieces. That is what you guys are doing here. And then we've got, wow, the Eight of Wands. Pentacles and Wands and Eights. Wow, guys. All right, and then we've got the Wheel of Fortune on the back. This is part of your destiny. This is absolutely 100% part of your destiny. Holy buckets. So essentially, you're awakening to this destiny, this connection to the stars in a new way. Maybe look up Arachne. I think that's this spider woman or spider queen of some sort. Her mythology may have a message for you in there. But even these pentacles look like stars to me. And if you look, this pouring forth, again, with music, it's pouring forth and it's growing. It's that plant yourself here. Whatever it is that spirit is leading you down or leading you towards, it's like it's going to just kind of appear into your physical suddenly. And you're going to take a step back. Like this retreat card, I'm getting so much from it, but it's like you're going to take a step back because when you step into your destiny, you take pause. When you awaken in this way, you have to take pause. Your body may react differently. You may have these weird physical reactions, but it's a weird physical reaction because you're realigning through this ascension. Everything is exactly as it's meant to be. Continue to step into your power. Continue to pour what you're pouring out because it's a perfection, or not even perfection. Spirit sees it as absolutely perfect. And I want you to know that Spirit sees it as absolutely perfect. But I can feel like it's not perfect, but that's not my opinion. It's like coming from a part of you. So Spirit sees it as perfection. So please take that to heart. But you're mastering this. And it's like you're mastering your destiny. You're not hesitating. You're just doing. And that's going to take every wish and every possibility, and it's going to blow it out because all of those things are going to come back in. And I definitely can see like abundance. I can see prosperity. I can see inspiration, creativity, family. I see it all. It's almost as if I'm looking at these cards, but the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles are on the board, even though they're not. I can just feel them in your energy. So this is really telling me that as off kilter as you may feel, as the word I keep hearing is discombobulated. So as much as you feel like you're getting tossed and turned and things just people don't make sense, and the world, it's like Mother Nature feels better than being around people. It will come back around where you align with both. But take this time, because when you're in this blue vault, everything just feels different. It just feels different. I don't have another word for it because it doesn't exist. That's what changed, what felt like. You just feel different. And it was always going to happen this way. It was always meant to be this way. So please don't feel alarm, but trust in this, because right now there is so much happening on other levels, energy fields. Just it's like there's so much happening all around you that really the only thing you need to do is be like, this is me. I'm going to create. I'm going to dive into my imagination, or I'm going to go on a retreat. Either way, whatever it is that speaks to you, please trust your intuition on this one, because this is a time for you to really go in as many weird ways as humanly possible, because there's something that you're bringing into this world that is meant to change it. And I think what I'm picking up is that you're starting to understand this, but it isn't something, it's like it isn't something that you haven't heard before, but you're understanding it in a different way now. And so you know that there's this time frame where you have to tap into resources you didn't know you have, tap into places you didn't know you could go in completely different ways. Pile 3. This is all I'm getting, but I really hope that this made sense, that this resonated. I want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Spirit for these amazing messages. Very profound, very deep, very wow, otherworldly. Thank you to your guides and my guides for connecting our energies and for helping this energy move through and these messages come through. Pile 3. As I said in my introduction, in case you missed it, I am not asking for any kind of support for my channel or anything like that. However, if this did resonate, or even if it didn't, please consider going down to the description box below. There are 2 GoFundMes linked in the description box, and they are for the families left behind of a good friend of mine who was murdered last week. And any and every ounce and penny of help is deeply appreciated. On that note, thank you again. I love you guys so much, and I will see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello, Pile 4. If you chose the last card, Floss Sapientum and the red and white rose, I probably butchered that, but oh well. And the card 59, this is your message. The first thing that I'm getting from this is 59 reduces to 14, and we could reduce it to 5. However, 14 is temperance, and that is alchemy. It's blending things together to create something new. And that is actually what this card talks about, this red and white rose. It talks about this vital force awakening within you and melding your body with your soul's purpose. So it's this embodiment of the masculine and the feminine, this embodiment of the fullness of your energy and the embodiment of your soul within the world. What I'm getting from this, I just needed to pause for a minute to let the messages come forth, is the tower that fell for you. The reason why it fell was because there was too much of one and not enough of the other. And what I'm actually getting from you guys is that there was too much of the feminine energy, which it's not a good nor a bad thing. But when you're really, really ingrained in the feminine energy, sometimes the masculine can feel as though it has nothing to do. And I just saw 222 on my clock. And when the masculine feels like it has nothing to do, it's kind of like feeling purposeless in a world where you know you have a purpose. So your masculine energy, while it needed a break, the feminine energy got a little too heightened. And when that happens, it's like getting multiple downloads all at the same time. And then you have this burst of all these creative ideas, but you have no direction and no idea where to go with it. And so a tower needed to fall because you have all of these brilliant ideas and they were all gifted to you by spirit. But you were in this state of hyper receptivity, and there wasn't enough of a counterbalance of receiving and then taking action. And now you kind of got put into a state where you needed to channel energy elsewhere in order to kind of work off some of it, to reduce the ideas down. And that's why the tower fell, because there were too many with not enough directed action. And with this now, it's like when you look at this snake, it represents Kundalini energy or awakening energy, but it's wrapped so lovingly around the purity of this rose. And it has this golden pearl in the middle. That golden pearl is the golden idea. That's your starting point. So now you have the feminine beautifully blossomed and open, but she has blossomed and opened to the masculine, to gifting the masculine with that pearl that the masculine needs in order to move in a focused, directed area. And the best way that I can explain this is I have these moments where I'm like, oh, I've got this great idea and this great idea, but it's just bits and pieces. And I used to really go over and over and over again in my head, like, what am I doing with this? How am I supposed to use this? It's only bits and pieces. And I had to get into a state where I accepted the fact that the downloads I was getting were puzzle pieces, which means I'll get the downloads and I'll write them down and then I'll leave them. And I trust that I will be called to them when the time is right. And instead of focusing on the pieces I don't have, I focus on the bits and pieces that I do have, the energetic awareness that I do have, and then I bring that forward. That feels like something that you guys are now learning to do while you're in this state of kind of rebuilding and repair. But it doesn't feel like complete and utter destruction of everything. It just feels like it's like shuffling papers, organizing papers, getting things kind of cleaned up. I'm seeing filing systems and alphabetization. It's kind of like internally and mentally, you have implemented some sort of filing system within your own mind of like, okay, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here. Now, what file is remaining? Okay, now I know which file is remaining, so I'm going to open that file and I'm going to look at that file. What's within this file? That's my golden idea. Now I'm going to move on that idea. Because once you move on that idea, then the next file that is meant to be opened is going to appear where that file once was. So Spirit fed you all the bits and pieces that you were going to need, but it takes time and effort and action to take those steps and move forward. And sometimes that can be really hard when you're in the midst of getting all of the files. But, Virgo energy, and we're in Virgo season, Virgo energy is the perfect energy for being able to do this. Not just in the physical world, even though Virgo is very, it's an earth sign. It's a very earth and water sign to me. So there's a lot of emotionality that comes with it. So it's like you're learning how to do some sort of mental filing system. And then you're letting the file that falls be the one that your heart is calling you to. And that's the real key to this whole thing. The reason why the tower fell is because your mind was dominating your heart. And when it went into that state, then you went into a bring me awareness, bring me clarity. I'm open for awareness and clarity. And each piece that came in had nowhere to go. Now you're learning how to take each piece and situate it within, which is actually giving the masculine something to do. It may not seem like it because masculine energy very much is like out in the world and doing and shining and producing. But if the inner world is in chaos, then the outer world is going to reflect that. Even if it isn't reflecting it at the moment, if you don't get the inner world into a state of settled, the outer world will begin reflecting the chaos back to you. I'm hearing that spirit tumbled this tower. Like it's like spirit brought all of these downloads to you and then tumbled the tower so that you would take a step back before your entire world all around you went into the state that your inner world was in. And so it kind of feels a little like you feel betrayed by spirit or the universe. And that's understandable, 100%. Sorry, I have the hiccups, which hasn't happened in a really long time. It's very understandable. Oh, okay. The hiccups is actually a metaphor. So this feeling that you have, let yourself feel it and then let it go. Because where you're at right now, this tower is literally just a hiccup on your path. It's like a redirection. And it's a redirection, not onto a new path, not for a new beginning, not to scrap everything, but a redirection back inward to get realigned internally, to get reorganized internally. Because once you do that, there are so many things in your outside world that will just fall into place. It will be magical. Not like magic, it will be magical. You won't be able to not see the magic. So these two cards over here describe the energy surrounding the tower moment. And these are spirit suggestions for moving forward. So we have the wastelands. Sustainability, slow down, and tend to your garden. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Spirit really wanted you to slow down from everything that you were getting in because the state you were in was not a sustainable state. So you needed this time to go within and reorganize. All right. And then we have the card for past, present, and future. And if you look, there are 3 birds and they're all standing on each other, but they're looking in different directions. Some are looking up, some are looking down, forward and backwards. And that's the thing. If you're getting downloads from like past lives and from future projections, but you're also getting downloads for things happening in the present moment, and you're not really sure where to go with it and what to do with it, it's going to feel like you're a tornado kicking up dust everywhere. But it's like an internal tornado. So spirit really needed you to take a step back, to take this moment and breathe and tend to you, tend to your inner world, tend to your mind, and allow for this resituation and reorganization to happen. And I'm seeing these two faces, and it's almost like ancestors watching you. Like, this may have been an ancestral pattern where they did this same thing or did very similar, where they had all of these ideas. You may actually know someone in your family in the past who was known to be, they would have called them a dreamer. And it would have been said in kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, Spirit? Kind of a demeaning way where, oh, they're just a dreamer. You know, they have all these ideas. But if you think about Einstein, they thought was, I want to say, like, unteachable. But it's because he was a genius. He was bored. Sometimes the way that you understand things is on a different level. But if you can't take the time to step back and get your internal world reorganized, then it's always going to seem like everything is just nothing but a pipe dream, because you won't have that clear-cut direction. And sometimes you have to look at the past and the present and what you hope for the future and figure out what piece of the puzzle is going to be the right next step to take. So you were caught up in this kind of whirlwind of so much going on, so many things and memories and energies, and it was leaving you in a wasteland. And Spirit really, really, like, genuinely, I can't tell you how much love I'm feeling from Spirit for you guys. I wish that you could feel how my heart chakra feels right now, because Spirit was like, I do not want to watch you go down this path. Please don't go down this path. Please let me help you. And there was a part of you that heard it. There's a part of you that heard it. There may have been a part of you that literally fell to your knees and asked for this help. So this time may actually feel more like a welcome reprieve from the way that things were. You may start feeling, or may have started to feel as of late, as though you suddenly know when to move and when not to move. You suddenly know what to do and what not to do. You suddenly just can feel it. It's like you have shifted into sensing instead of thinking, and that's exactly what you needed. And it really did take you slowing down and taking care of yourself and taking care of the things that you had around you, because you needed to be brought back to the present moment. And I get that 100%, because I've had my moments as of late where the past has really, like, past memories have really hit me left, right, and center. And I needed to take time. That's why it took me over a week to film this, because I had to take a step back and work through certain things. So I definitely understand this energy. What I'm hearing is, please take this time. Please don't overthink the slowdown, because it was so necessary. So let's take a look at the advice moving forward from today. We have the return. A new story, you decide, alignment, it's coming together. Yes. And then we have 34 with ancient wisdom. I love this. You know, I was picking up ancestors, and this is literally like you're tapping into deep resources. You're pulling these new wisdoms into the world, but you're doing it through an ancient method. And I can't tell you what that is, because it's going to be specific to each one of you. But I can say that you're in a state in which you understand the past now, and you understand what it means to be overwhelmed, and you understand what it means to take a break. You understand what it means to take care of yourself, to take care of these things and those things. And now Spirit's saying, moving forward, you're the author. You decide. You know what is aligned to you because you hold that within your soul. You have this ancient soul, this aged nature to you. And you may have heard that you're an old soul a lot. You may think that or feel that way. It's not meant to be a burden. It's meant to be a blessing because the age of your soul or the journey that your soul has been on has imbued it with such deep wisdom and knowing and understanding. And now all of that is returning to you, and you know that you're not just a pipe dreamer. These things that you experience and that you know and that you understand, it's not for nothing. The past happened to teach you about how we can build a better future and how we can do that right now. The more that you build your future, the more that you show others how to do that. Don't allow any storylines from the past, whether that is from your family, whether that is from the people that you grew up with, or even just insecurities or doubts within you to hold you back from coming back into the world, from choosing the story that you are ready to tell, that you have decided is going to be the story for your life. If you want to tell the story of you being a pirate, go tell that story. Go be a pirate. If you want to bring together all sorts of things that don't seem to make sense to fit together, but you know how to fit them together, put them together. And then share it with the world because you are meant to write a new story for your lineage, for your ancestors, and for your soul. And it's going to change. All of it is going to change. You have aligned your masculine and feminine. You have this understanding, this higher awareness, this higher pearl of wisdom, and it is your absolute essence. It's a blessing. You're not in the wastelands anymore. Look at how desolate this is compared to how bright and vibrant this is. And I know my lighting is not the greatest today, but I wanted some natural sunlight in here for us all. But look how beautiful that card is. It is literally just glowing. And so are you. You may have heard that you have a rainbow aura or a rainbow aura or a white or gold aura. This is definitely confirmation of that. So we have the Queen of Pentacles here. Yeah, you're definitely taking root into some sort of prosperous future. And this 10 to your garden really speaks to the Queen of Pentacles because that is how she builds her queendom with the pentacles. She nurtures it. She tends to her garden. She takes the time. She knows that it takes time and cycles of energy, cycles of the moon, seasonal cycles in order for growth to happen. And she doesn't try to rush things because she has that higher awareness. And you can actually see that up here. She has that higher understanding, that higher awareness. And so do you. And you know that that's meant to branch out. It's meant to be rooted, but it's also meant to branch out. And you're creating solid foundations for yourself and for your family. I thought so. And then we have the Justice card. Okay, Libra season may be very significant for you. There may be a massive, massive karmic rebalancing, massive energetic, financial rebalancing. But there's this huge transformational energy as well that I'm picking up from it. It has all these butterflies on the card. And butterflies have like 4 stages. And I just channeled this the other day. I just didn't realize how connected it was to your pile. So if you think about the sun going around this zodiac cycle one time. When it starts in spring, that's your caterpillar season. So whatever your ascendant is your caterpillar season. When your ascendant hits your Colli or your IC, the lower point in your chart, now you're getting into the cocoon phase. This is where you're going in and you're transmuting and you're transforming everything from the past. And I just saw 2222 on my clock. But you're transforming everything from the past. All of those old ways and old cycles, you're turning it into something new. Between that and your descendant line, so that next cycle phase, now you're taking and bringing out a new form. That's when you start going from, when a caterpillar goes into a goo stage, now you're going into the goo and starting to form into the butterfly. From there, you start breaking out of the cocoon until you hit the medium Colli or the midheaven up on top in your chart. Whatever energy that is, that's what you're bringing forth into the world. You're going to burst out like crazy and just fly high. And justice is represented by the sign Libra. So Libra may be either one of your chart angles, so the ascendant, descendant, Colli or medium Colli, or it may be one of your nodes, north or south node. Or I just heard vertex or anti-vertex. So it may be a significant house for you. But the zodiac season of Libra, which actually starts with September 22nd this year and runs to October 23rd, and it's the autumn equinox, that's going to be a hugely transformative season for you. And I can almost feel this kind of sigh. There's this mixed energy of like, okay, I still have more time, but also I have to wait that long. I'm not saying that this is for everyone. This is a general reading. Take what resonates. But I am seeing that this rebalancing that you're doing is bringing in some sort of justice into your life. And I am feeling a strong energy of Libra in here. And then we have the Eight of Swords. Yeah, it's literally like all that trapped feeling that you've had, all of that locked down, you're understanding that you've done that to yourself. And this is where I'm seeing the rebalancing, is in that mental space gets rebalanced. I'm being drawn to this hummingbird up here. It's kind of like you used to think that you were the swan, but really you're the hummingbird. The hummingbird defies odds. Everybody in your family talks about this one person who was a swan. They had all these brilliant ideas or all of these dreams and aspirations, but they could never make anything work. I'm actually getting like crazy old Maurice from Beauty and the Beast, where everybody thought that he was just insane. But he was an inventor. He was an innovator. Everybody always thinks those people are insane. The hummingbird shouldn't be able to fly the way that it does. It flies like 6 directions. Oh no, that's the dragonfly. That may be significant for some of you. But the hummingbird flies forward and backwards. It shouldn't be able to fly as fast. And I want to say that the hummingbird is the one bird that like shouldn't be able to fly. I'm fairly certain. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. It's kind of like you shouldn't be able to do the things that you can do, but you can do them. And the only reason why you shouldn't be able to do them is because you have been conditioned or trained or told enough times over the years that to follow in the path of whoever it was that came before with ideas similar to yours is literally going to drive you into the ground. And that's not the case, because that's not your path. It's not your life. And unfortunately, and I am so sorry to whatever ancestor or family member it was in your family, but that was never meant to be their path either. They were there to pave the way for you. And they couldn't get themselves out of this Eight of Swords, but you can, and you are. And Spirit is telling you that tower that fell was to get you out of that pattern, to break you free so that you could see that you're not that swan. You're the hummingbird. You're the one that defies odds. You defy gravity, and you are meant to literally zoom into whatever, living off of the nectar, living off of the sweetness of life, because that is what your soul chose. And we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. It's like you have really, really had your patience tested, like to the max. Your faith has been tested. Your faith in yourself has been tested. In Spirit has been tested. And oh my gosh, are you guys the pile? Yes, you guys were the pile that I said had some like feel of betrayal from Spirit. And this is why you've been nurturing something that you know is right for you. You know it with every fiber of your being, you know it, and you have been lovingly nurturing it and watching just baby steps, baby sprouts. And you have stuck to this Knight of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, patient, loving, nurturing energy of yourself, of your projects, of your path, of your direction, knowing 100% that it has been the right thing, even when your mind told you it was wrong, even when you had family members or friends or just the outside world creating doubts, and that is going to be rebalanced. When I tell you that I am feeling this sense of you will prove yourself right. This is not about proving other people wrong. This is about proving yourself right, because that's the most important here. That with this Eight of Swords is the absolute most important, is knowing that you were right 100% of the time, all the time, about your path, your mission, your purpose, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, and the things that you love. It doesn't matter how much it seems like you're treading a path that someone else did or has taken before. It's different because you are different. You have done this for so long, and I can see with the coloring, I can see how much it has been envisioned, how much it has been within your heart. And the more that you nurture it, the more that you are really, really getting it grounded into the physical, into your root chakra, the more that you are emotionally connecting to it. And that is the key to return, the return. And with the return, it's like a return back to you. It's that justice energy, that rebalancing energy. You were not wrong at all. You have chosen the right path. You just needed your energies to rebalance so that you could reorganize the inner world so it didn't crumble to this mindset that was never yours to carry in the first place and isn't meant for you to continue carrying. It just isn't. You have the wisdom, the understanding that you're the hummingbird and you rise above. You can get in and out of things easily because you're small and capable. And on the back of the deck, we had the Page of Cups. This has been this dream inside of you that has made you feel like a child and naive and just as though it wasn't right. But you know what? This Page of Cups in particular, what she's looking at in this cup, it's the essence of the sun being brought down into the depths of the ocean. It defies odds, bringing the sun to the depths of the ocean. It defies odds. And that's exactly what I said you do. I'm also seeing that you may be a very good diviner. You may be drawn to Apollo, to Delphi, to Pythia, divination, scrying especially. I'm seeing in here scrying. Alternately, some of you may be chefs. That just came through too. Yeah, Page of Cups, Two of Wands, knowing that you're at the gateway for the future, understanding that you have everything that you need to do that. King of Cups, emotional balance, the world in your hands, closing this down and moving forward. That's why the Tower fell, because you were ready for it, because you were ready to bring balance to your family line, to bring balance to your life, because you believed, you trusted, and you stuck to your heart. And that is commendable. Not just by me, but by spirit, by your guides, by your ancestors, by your family, whether they tell you or not. It was not in vain. You were not wrong. This is amazing. Pile 4. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for this amazing energy. I want to say thank you to Spirit for these messages today. They were so profound, and I truly hope that they helped. Thank you to your guides and my guides for connecting our energies and helping these messages flow easier through. Again, if you missed the introduction, I am not asking for any kind of support for my channel with this reading. I do have 2 links in the description box right up at top on top. They are GoFundMe links. Please, if this resonated, if this brought you hope, if this brought light, if this helped, go down to one of those links and donate. No matter how much or how little you have to spare. This is for the families of one of my good friends who was murdered last week. And they really do need to feel that hope that there are just strangers out there who want to help. So thank you again for being here. I love you all. I will see you next time. Bye.